Is that demographic? Are these focus groups? These are people willing to go to a Frank Luntz focus group. Are they willing to then go to a voting booth and make their vote known?
We've seen it. According to the polls that Declare Yourself has done, the turnout among young people, we know it from the exit polling, that 11% of the 18 to 24-year-olds have made up 11% of the electorate. They're voting in record numbers, and the question that you should ask is, are they going to stay in this political process? And I think they are. I got one more clip to show you, which is the topic of change. It's not just young people that are looking for something different. Their parents don't like the status quo. Only 19% of Americans think the nation's headed in the right direction. Listen to the reactions of New Hampshire voters as they talk about the desire to reject the status quo and move towards something different.
My thinking has evolved. It's changed. It went from being cynical about it to listening to Barack Obama more and more. I've started to believe that he really does represent that.
You hear the word change. What does it mean?
Not the status quo, a better America.
When I hear the word change, I think it's something that needs to be worked on for a long, long time, and that you have to have experience and you have to have know-how to affect change.
I believe it has to be immediate. I believe that we have to have change. We can't wait for second term to start looking for health care reform.
I think of change being from the Republicans to a Democrat winning the presidency and pulling the troops out of Iraq.
If someone says that they want change immediately, you know that they're a Barack Obama supporter. If they say that they look for a tradition of change, then you know that they're a Hillary Clinton supporter.
One question about this change versus experience, because we've heard so much about it in this entire campaign here. All right, is change versus experience different in a primary than a general election?
Yes, because the Democrats, their attitude towards change is very futuristic, and it involves universal health care, involves getting out of Iraq. The Republican change involves
raising taxes,
all of that.
All of that.
Less wasteful Washington spending on the Republican side. Right. It involves going back to Ronald Reagan rather than forward.
To some extent, Republicans, I guess, brought a lot of this on themselves when they abandoned some of their principles. They still haven't built that border fence. They've been spending much more money than they've been taking in. They have been seen as Democrat-light for a long time. Is there any indication at all that they have gotten the message that they need to go back to their conservative roots?
Bluntly, no. And this is why I've said on this show to you and to Alan that the Democrats have an advantage in the fall, because those key independents, the people who make up the difference, right now they've shifted over and they're looking at the Democratic candidates more than the Republican candidates.
But that's interesting. Are they going to vote because they want their taxes up? Will they vote? Do they really want retreat, defeat in Iraq? Do they really want nationalized health care? Do they really believe the government's capable of providing that? Are they answering those questions?
What they really want is accountability, and they don't think they get that from the Republicans.
But do we get more specificity out of them? In other words, it might be a platitude, a bumper sticker, a slogan to say, I want national health care. But do they think it through? In other words, do they really believe government is capable of providing that?
What they see is that they're not capable of providing it. That at the end of the week, they don't have enough money for the things that they need, and so they need help from the government, and they see the Republicans as having a tin ear to them.
I got to tell you, well, you know what? That's a great admonition for them, and I hope our Republican friends are listening. Good to see you, as always. Frank Luntz.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.